Hi, I'm Griffpatch, and I'm going to take you through part 2 of my tutorial on making a scrolling platformer in Scratch. We left this off with this little red dude being able to move along and the background scrolling, but that's not particularly exciting, and we really need to bring him back down to earth. So today we're looking at gravity. So let me just minimize the play area with this little button here, so we have a bit more scripting area, and let's get started. So what we really need to do is create a new custom block called change player y by, and now we need to go into options here and add a number input. We're going to call it sy. Click OK. Okay, so let's stick that down here. And what this is going to do is change, so put in a change variable and put in y in there and drag the sy parameter into the change part. So we're changing y by whatever sy is. And then we need to reposition the character. Now that is done already by this goto that we're using over here. So what we can do is pop that goto into a new custom block and then reuse it again. So let's create a new custom block called position and then put that goto into that. Make sure that tick goes back into the main code at the end of that loop, and then put the new position block where it was saying goto before. So that now should be doing exactly the same thing as it was, but we're using this custom block instead. But that means we can now reuse position over here. So we're going to change y and then reposition. So grab this new change y position and stick that in the tick custom block. And for now, let's change y by -8, so downwards by -8. Okay, let's watch that. There we go. Every time we run the project, he moves down constantly at a speed of 8 pixels per tick. So the next step is let's try and stop him from going through that platform. Okay. For that, what we have to do is as he comes down, if he's touching the platform, we need to move him up out of the platform. So let's add in a control, repeat until. And we're going to repeat until we're not touching the platform any longer. So repeat until touching, and then not mouse pointer, we want platforms. Now that's the platform sprite here. So any of these platforms that we have, so this is going to be repeat until we're not touching it. And what we're going to repeat is what's inside here. And what's inside here is going to be change y by 1, so move up by 1, and then use again your position custom block so we actually do the repositioning. Okay, just save that and run it and see what happens. There we go. Let me make that bigger. Now you can see what's happening here. What's happening is he's falling down by 8, going through it, and then rising up 1 pixel at a time, just like we said, repeat until he's not touching it. But the sad thing is then you can see him fall through again and come back up again. So what we really need to do is do this so quick that we don't see it happen, so that he'll fall down and look like he's sitting on top. And luckily that's very achievable in Scratch. All we need to do is change our tick custom block here. This tick is supposed to be really quick, that's why we called it tick, like a tick of a clock. So right click on it, say edit, go into options, and say run without screen refresh. So the problem is at the moment, when we're moving him up out the thing, out of the platform, Scratch is telling it to update the screen and show it happening. We do not want that, so run without screen refresh. And now let's run it again. There we go. He falls down and he stops on the block. Brilliant. Now the next thing we want to do is stop him from falling down at a constant speed, because that's not very realistic. We usually, when we're walking along and falling, we get faster the longer we fall for. So let's make a few changes for that. If we go into data, we can add a new variable called sy, speed y, and we'll make it for this sprite only. So we need to set speed y to 0 at the beginning in your game on custom block, so we're not falling to start with. And then where we've got change player y by -8, add in a change speed y before it by -1. No, -2 actually, better. Change speed y by -2. And then where it says change layer y by -8, drag in your speed y. So now the speed he's falling at is going to get bigger each time, and we're going to call this change player y by a bigger negative number. So straight away that should start to happen. There we go. However, when he hits the platform, we don't slow him down, and in the end he gets so fast that he falls through it, which is not what we want. And that can be easily fixed. So in here, this little loop down here with the change player y, get a set and set the speed y to 0 inside that repeat. So when he is touching a platform, it'll set our speed y to 0. Now play it. There he stops. And if we walk off the end, you'll see he starts falling again until he hits the bottom, and then that stops it. That's fine. And the normal circumstances will have him die there. So that's great. We've got some gravity going off. The nice thing about that is we can easily add in a jumping mechanism now. That will go in the tick block. So let's move that to change player y down a bit. Let's put another if statement in. And we'll put it just before the speed y change. And we need a key press of up. And in there, we're going to set speed y to 16. Okay, now if we run that and press up, instantly we can do some jumping. Now this is actually more like flying. If I hold it down, I can just keep going, hovering around like this, which is quite good for like a Flappy Bird game or something, but not what we want for our platformer. So what we need to do now is make him so he's only allowed to jump if he's been touching the platforms. For this, another variable is needed, and we're going to call this in air. And again, for this sprite only. So set in air to 0 when the game on is hit. And what we're going to do is we're going to change in air inside the change player y. And we're going to change it by 1. Now this means it's going to keep saying he's in the air for longer the more he's in the air. And when we touch a platform, we're going to set in air back to 0. So it'll be 0 for as long as he's touching something, and the in air will be bigger than 0 when he's in the air. And the longer he's in the air, the bigger that number becomes. And that means that we can use that in the jumping code. So if we put an if statement around the set speed y to 16, then we can put a less than, and we can put in air. So if in air is less than 4, we'll choose. Now 4 is the number I've chosen, which is a little number. So if he's in the air for the tiniest bit after he's left the edge of a platform, you can still do a jump. Now this is quite important for some platformers to make it easy enough to jump, because sometimes if you're going down slopes or things, you're kind of skipping along down the slope and he's in the air for tiny bits of it, but that would mean you wouldn't be able to jump while you're skipping down a slope, and that can be really frustrating for players. So it's always nice to give a little bit of leeway. So if I run that now, again I'll make it big, so I can jump, but look, if I hold down the up button, he only jumps when he gets back to the ground, which is what we wanted. I can't jump, double jump in the air. So there we go. There's our jumping mechanism. And so that's the end of this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we'll hopefully cover things like collision detection in the sideways direction, so we can bump into objects in that direction, and also ceiling detection. Both of those things, if you try this current example out, you'll find will do very strange things. And they're very necessary in any platforming game to make them really stable. So I hope you'll join me next time, and I hope you enjoyed that today. This is Griffpatch, and thank you for watching. Bye.